What happens when one of Hollywood's most beloved actresses walks onto a daytime talk show stage only to be blindsided by accusations she never saw coming? In just 34 seconds, a simple question about her latest movie turns into a full-scale confrontation that exposes the dark side of celebrity interviews and leaves the studio audience in complete shock. Jennifer Lawrence arrived at the View Studios that morning, expecting a typical press tour stop. She'd been making the rounds promoting her new film, sitting through the usual questions about her character, her co-stars, and what drew her to the project. The View was supposed to be another friendly conversation, another chance to connect with fans and share some laughs with the panel. She wore a simple but elegant dress, her hair pulled back casually, the kind of effortless style that had made her a fashion icon. The audience applauded warmly as she walked out, waving and smiling at the familiar faces of the panel seated. Around the table, Whoopi Goldberg kicked things off with her usual welcoming energy. "We are so excited to have you here. Your new movie looks absolutely incredible. Tell us what it was like stepping into this role." Jennifer settled into her seat, still smiling. "Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, this character was one of the most challenging I have ever played. She is complex, flawed, but incredibly human. I loved exploring all those layers." Joy Behar jumped in next. "You have been in this industry for a while now. How do you choose your projects these days? What makes you say yes to something?" "I think it really comes down to the story and the people," Jennifer explained. "If the script moves me, if I feel like I can bring something real to the character, and if I trust the director and the team, that is when I know it is right. I have been fortunate to work with some amazing filmmakers who really understand storytelling." The conversation flowed easily for the first few minutes. Sarah Haynes asked about working with her co-stars, and Jennifer shared a funny behind-the-scenes story that had the audience laughing. Alyssa Farah Griffin asked about the physical demands of the role, and Jennifer talked about the training she had done to prepare. Everything felt comfortable, natural, exactly what a promotional interview should be. Then, Sunny Hostin leaned forward, and the energy at the table shifted. "Jennifer, I want to ask you about something that has been bothering me for a while now," Sunny began, her tone suddenly sharper. "You have built this entire brand around being relatable, being the girl next door. But let us be honest. You grew up in Kentucky with a fairly comfortable life. Your family had money. You were not exactly struggling. Do you not think it is a bit disingenuous to keep selling this down-to-earth image when your reality was very different?" The studio went quiet. Jennifer's smile faded slightly, replaced by a look of genuine confusion. "I am sorry, what?" "You heard me," Sunny continued, not backing down. "You have talked in interviews about being just like everyone else, but you had opportunities most people could only dream of. Private acting coaches, connections in the industry through your family. It feels performative, like you are playing a character even off screen." Jennifer took a breath, clearly trying to process what was happening. "Sunny, I think there might be some misunderstanding here. Yes, my family was stable, and I am grateful for that, but we were not wealthy. My parents worked hard. My mom ran a summer camp. My dad had a construction company. They supported my dreams, but I still had to audition, still had to prove myself, still heard no 1,000 times before I heard yes." Sunny waved her hand dismissively. "That's exactly what I am talking about. This narrative you keep pushing. Meanwhile, there are actors who actually came from nothing, who actually struggled, and they do not get half the opportunities you have had handed to you." Whoopi tried to interject. "Sunny, I think we should maybe—" "No, Whoopi. This is important," Sunny cut her off. "We sit here and celebrate people who sell us these false stories about themselves, and nobody wants to ask the hard questions." "Well, I am asking." Jennifer sat up straighter, her jaw tightening. "Sunny, I have never once said I came from poverty. I have never claimed to have struggled more than anyone else. I have always been honest about my background. What I have said is that I try to stay grounded, that I do not take this career for granted, and that I want to connect with audiences as a real person, not some untouchable celebrity. If that bothers you, I honestly do not know what to tell you. The audience was completely silent now, the tension palpable. Sarah Haynes shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Joy Behar looked between Sunny and Jennifer, her expression uncertain. Sunny laughed, but there was no humor in it. See, this is the problem. You cannot even take legitimate criticism without getting defensive. Maybe if you spent less time worrying about your image and more time acknowledging your privilege, people would respect you more. Acknowledge my privilege? Jennifer repeated, her voice rising slightly. Sunny, I have talked about being fortunate. I have talked about having support. What more do you want from me? Do you want me to apologize for my parents loving me and helping me pursue acting? Because I am not going to do that. Alyssa tried to redirect. Maybe we can talk about the actual film. Jennifer, your character in the movie deals with some really intense... No, let her finish, Sunny interrupted, her eyes still locked on Jennifer. I want to hear what she has to say. Because from where I am sitting, it looks like someone who has had every door opened for her is now upset that someone finally pointed it out. Jennifer shook her head slowly. You know what, Sunny? I came here to talk about my work. I came here to have a conversation, to connect with people who might want to see this movie. I did not come here to be ambushed with some weird agenda you clearly walked in with today. Agenda? Sunny's voice went up. I am asking you honest questions that your fans deserve answers to. If you cannot handle that, maybe you should not be doing interviews. Whoopi jumped in again, her voice firmer this time. Okay, hold on. Let us all just take a breath here. But Jennifer was done taking breaths. Sunny, let me be very clear with you. I have never lied about who I am or where I come from. I have never pretended to be something I am not. And frankly, I find it really interesting that you are sitting here on national television making these accusations without actually knowing anything about my life, my journey, or what I have been through. You are making assumptions based on whatever narrative you decided to create in your head. I am making observations based on public information, Sunny shot back. Based on interviews you have given, things you have said, and what I see is someone who benefits from looking relatable while actually being incredibly privileged. Joy finally spoke up. Sunny, I think this might be a little what, Joy? Sunny turned to her co-host. A little too honest? A little too uncomfortable? That's exactly the problem with these conversations. Nobody wants to actually dig into the truth. Jennifer stood up, and the audience gasped. She carefully removed her microphone, her hands shaking slightly. You know what the truth is, Sunny? The truth is, I came here excited to talk about a project I poured my heart into. The truth is, I have always tried to be genuine with people, to not put on airs, to remember where I came from. And the truth is, you decided before I even sat down that you were going to attack me, and nothing I said was going to change that. Sunny leaned back in her chair, arms crossed. If you feel attacked by simple questions, that says more about you than it does about me. These are not simple questions, Jennifer said, her voice steady now, despite the emotion clear on her face. These are accusations wrapped up as questions. There is a difference. And I am not going to sit here and let you twist my words and my life into some narrative that fits whatever point you are trying to make today. Sarah tried one more time. Jennifer, please. Maybe we can just... No, Sarah. It is okay, Jennifer said, softer now. I appreciate you trying, but this is not what I signed up for. I have done hundreds of interviews. I have answered tough questions. I have had hard conversations. But this is not that. This is something else entirely. Whoopi stood up. Jennifer, please, do not leave like this. Jennifer turned to Whoopi, and her expression softened slightly. Whoopi, I have so much respect for you. I have watched you my entire life. But I cannot stay here and be disrespected like this. I just cannot do it. Sonny scoffed loudly. Disrespected? You think being asked to be honest about your privilege is disrespectful? This is exactly what I am talking about. You cannot handle any pushback. Jennifer turned back to Sonny, and the fire returned to her eyes. Pushback? Sonny, you have not pushed back on anything I have actually said. You came in here with a vendetta. You decided who I was before I opened my mouth. And now you are mad because I am not playing along with your script. My script? Sonny stood up now too. I am trying to have a real conversation, something this show is supposed to be about. But apparently, when someone does not worship at the altar of Jennifer Lawrence, they are the problem. Nobody is asking you to worship me, Jennifer said, her voice breaking slightly. I'm asking you to treat me like a human being, to actually listen to what I'm saying instead of just waiting for your next chance to attack. Is that really too much to ask? The audience was frozen. Some people looked shocked, others sympathetic. A few had their phones out, capturing every moment. Joy tried to lighten the mood. Look, we have all gotten a little heated here. Why do not we just... No, Joy, Jennifer interrupted gently. I appreciate what you are trying to do, but I think the damage is done here. Sonny made it very clear what she thinks of me, and I have made it clear that I am not going to sit here and be treated like this. Alyssa spoke softly. For what it is worth, I think you have always come across as genuine. Thank you, Alyssa, Jennifer said, her eyes getting watery. That actually means a lot. Sonny laughed bitterly. Of course you are going to defend her. No one wants to actually hold these people accountable. Accountable for what? Jennifer's voice rose again. What exactly have I done that requires accountability? Working hard? Being successful? Trying to stay grounded? Please, Sonny, explain to me what my crime is here. Your crime is pretending you are just like everyone else when you are not, Sonny said coldly. Your crime is selling a false image to people who look up to you. Your crime is getting defensive when someone finally calls you out on it. Jennifer wiped her eyes quickly, refusing to let the tears fall. You know what, Sonny? I feel sorry for you. I really do. Because you are so committed to this idea of me that you have created in your head that you cannot see the actual person standing in front of you. You cannot hear the actual words coming out of my mouth. All you see is what you decided to see before I walked through that door. Whoopi put her hand on Jennifer's arm. Please, just sit back down. We can fix this. Jennifer shook her head. Whoopi, some things cannot be fixed, and I do not think Sonny wants to fix this anyway. I think this is exactly what she wanted. A confrontation, a viral moment. Well, congratulations, Sonny. You got it. Sonny stood with her arms still crossed. If telling the truth creates a confrontation, then so be it. I am not going to apologize for asking the questions that needed to be asked. You were not asking questions, Jennifer said quietly. You were making statements and dressing them up as questions. There is a difference. Questions come from a place of curiosity, of wanting to understand. What you did came from somewhere else entirely. The studio was so quiet you could hear people breathing. The producers stood off to the side, clearly unsure whether to cut to commercial or let this play out. Sarah spoke gently. Jennifer, I think a lot of us have really enjoyed your work over the years. We have loved watching your career grow. Thank you, Sarah, Jennifer said. And I have always had great experiences doing press, talking to journalists, connecting with audiences. This is the first time I have ever felt like someone was not interested in having an actual conversation, like they just wanted to tear me down. Oh, please, Sonny interjected. Stop playing the victim. You are a millionaire actress with every advantage in the world. Forgive me if I do not feel bad that someone asked you a tough question. It was not a tough question, Jennifer said, her voice steady again. It was an attack, and you know it. You can dress it up however you want, but we both know what this was. Joy tried again. What if we all just agreed to disagree, and there is nothing to disagree about, Jennifer said firmly. Sunny has made her feelings abundantly clear, and I have made mine clear. I do not see any path forward here that ends well. Whoopi looked frustrated. So you are just going to walk out? Yes, Whoopi, I am, Jennifer said. Because staying here, continuing this, it is not good for anyone. Not for me, not for the show, not for the audience. Sometimes the best thing you can do is remove yourself from a toxic situation. Toxic? Sunny almost shouted. You almost are calling me toxic because I asked you to be honest? I am calling this situation toxic, Jennifer clarified, because it stopped being about honesty or conversation a long time ago. This became about you proving a point, and I am not interested in being your prop for that. Alyssa looked sad. I hate that it ended up like this. Me too, Jennifer said sincerely. I really do. But sometimes things just do not work out the way we hope. Sunny shook her head. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. You cannot even handle one person not falling at your feet. Jennifer picked up her purse from beside the chair. Sunny, I have handled criticism my entire career. I have dealt with people who did not like my acting, my choices, my personality. I have read terrible things written about me. I have been mocked, analyzed, picked apart, and I have always tried to take it in stride, to learn from it, to grow. But what you did today was not criticism. It was cruelty, and I do not have to accept that from anyone. The audience started murmuring now, some people clearly on Jennifer's side, others seemingly siding with Sunny. Joy looked at the camera. We are going to take a quick break and... No, Jennifer said. Do not go to break on my account. I am leaving. You can continue your show. Whoopi tried one last time. Jennifer, please. Jennifer turned to Whoopi, and her face softened completely. Whoopi, I love you. I have always loved you. You are a legend, and you have inspired me since I was a little girl. But I cannot do this. I just cannot. She turned to the rest of the panel. Sarah, Alyssa, Joy, thank you for trying to keep things civil. I appreciate it more than you know. Then she looked at Sunny one final time. And Sunny, I hope whatever you were trying to accomplish today was worth it. Because you did not get truth. You did not get honesty. You just got pain. And I do not think that is something to be proud of. Sunny opened her mouth to respond. But Jennifer had already turned away. She walked across the stage, her head held high, despite the tears now streaming down her face. The audience was split between applause and stunned silence. Some people were standing, showing their support. Others sat frozen, trying to process what they had just witnessed. As Jennifer reached the edge of the stage, she paused and turned back one more time. I came here to talk about art, about storytelling, about connecting with people through film. Instead, I got ambushed by someone who decided who I was before giving me a chance to show who I actually am. I hope anyone watching this remembers that celebrities are human beings. We have feelings, we have limits, and we deserve basic respect, just like everyone else. With that, she walked off the stage and disappeared behind the curtain. The cameras caught Sunny sitting back down, her expression unreadable. Whoopi looked disappointed and tired. Joy, Sarah, and Alyssa exchanged glances that said everything without saying anything at all. The producers finally decided to cut to commercial, but the damage was done. The confrontation had played out in real time, in front of millions of viewers, and there was no taking it back. Jennifer Lawrence had walked off the view, and the reason why was crystal clear to everyone who had watched it unfold. It was not about a difficult question or a challenging interview. It was about respect, dignity, and the line between journalism and cruelty. The stage sat empty for a moment before the commercial break finally kicked in, leaving audiences across the country wondering how a simple movie promotion had turned into one of the most explosive talk show moments in recent memory. What started as an opportunity to discuss art and creativity had become a stark reminder that even in the world of daytime television, there are boundaries that should not be crossed, and consequences when those boundaries are ignored.